Good morning, everyone. This is Prabhakar with CytoSolve. Welcome to the 12th CytoSolve Symposium. Today we'll be looking at women's health. We should be starting in another 5-10 minutes. We still have a lot of people joining us. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Can everybody hear me? Someone is saying
Yeah.
not on.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right. I'm going to start with the systems video, journey to systems video. So while people are still joining.
Welcome to VA Shiva. VA Shiva is a product of my journey across East and West, science and tradition, ancient and modern, that brings you the science of systems so you can become a force for truth, freedom, health. VA Shiva is a platform of revolutionary education, community building, and weaponry for unleashing local activism. My journey to VA Shiva begins in the chaos of Bombay, where I experienced diverse religions, languages, castes, and in a small village that had no running water, no electricity, where my grandmother, a poor village farmer, practiced Siddha, an ancient system of Indian medicine over 10,000 years old. She observed one's face, the art of Samudrika Lakshanam, to understand a body's unique constitution, allowing her to deliver the right medicine for the right person at the right time. Watching my grandmother heal others, I was inspired to study medicine, but I was also aware of the corrupt caste system of India, which denigrated a human being, where my family were considered low caste untouchables, where one's birth determined one's destiny. The grit and determination of my mother and father led them to get educated and to come to America, a 1 in a trillion event. Their actions inspired me to work hard and excel. While in 9th grade, I attended New York University in a computer science program, and subsequently, at the age of 14, was given a full-time job as a research fellow at what is now known as Rutgers Medical School in the heart of Newark, New Jersey. There I investigated the system of sleep using mathematics, computer science, and biology for sudden infant death syndrome. It was there in Newark where I invented email, when I was the first to convert every feature of the physical, paper-based inter-office mail system, including inbox, outbox, memo, carbon copy, blind carbon copy, attachments, into its electronic equivalent, a system which I named email, a term that I was the first to coin. On August 30th, 1982, I was awarded the first U.S. copyright for the invention of this system, recognizing me as the inventor of email. At that time, copyright was the only way to protect software inventions. I went on to MIT, where I earned 4 degrees across multiple systems of engineering: electrical, mechanical, design, biological. That training led me to invent many other systems for advancing humankind. EchoMail, the world's first intelligent email management system. CytoSolve, a computational biology system for eliminating animal testing to discover new medicines faster, cheaper, and safer. And to the creation of a whole systems methodology for certifying clean food. These innovations led me back on a Fulbright to India, where I discovered the missing link between Eastern medicine and Western systems theory, honoring my grandmother, to develop Your Body, Your System, a powerful tool that will help you understand how your body is a system and how the inputs of food, supplements, and exercise bring your body back to its natural system state. And Systems Health, an integrative educational discipline that is now integrated into the VA-SHIVA platform that will enable you to learn the science of systems, the science of everything, be it your body as a system or our society and politics as a system, to reveal the foundational interrelationships between truth, freedom, health. Now is the time for you to be the light, learn the science of systems, build community, and weaponize yourself to unleash the activism necessary to deliver truth, freedom, health in your local community. Welcome to VA-SHIVA. Who would have ever thought someone like me would invent email and create CytoSolve to revolutionize health for personalized and precision medicine, a system for delivering the right medicine for the right person at the right time? I was born a low-caste untouchable in India's caste system, a system of aristocracy, oppression, and racism. As a child, I observed my grandmother, a poor village farmer, practice Siddha, India's oldest system of medicine, to heal local villagers by observing their face, to know their unique constitution, to deliver a unique combination of foods, healing herbs, and massage. The caste system and her abilities to heal inspired me to understand the interconnectedness of all life. My name is Dr.SHIVA Ayyadurai. I'm an MIT PhD, a Fulbright scholar, a scientist, technologist, and inventor. My family and I left India to come to America on my 7th birthday. As a 14-year-old, I began working as a full-time research fellow at Rutgers Medical School to unravel the mysteries of sudden infant death syndrome, SIDS, and created the world's first email system long before I ever heard of MIT. As I traversed academia over the next 3 decades, I observed self-serving academics, never solving real problems, writing grant after grant, competing for tenure, while diminishing real science and real scientists, pushing a reductionist science to destroy the scientific method. Like the blind men who never saw the whole elephant, but the parts, they delivered a dismembered view of reality. I observed Big Pharma use such reductionism, wasting billions year after year to fund research in test tubes, killing animals, and using the poor as guinea pigs for clinical testing to create products that even the FDA no longer allowed. Not only Big Pharma practiced this reductionism, but also the elites of Big Vitamin, Big Green, and Big New Age, with gurus and yogis, empowered by Hollywood celebrities, selling one supplement after another based on a cherry-picked science. All that changed in 2003 when the Human Genome Project ended, revealing that humans have the same number of genes, about 20,000, as that of a worm, giving rise to a systems biology. We realized that one-size-fits-all medicine was a failure. We realized realized their medicines were killing us, making today's generation's lifespan shorter than any previous generation. Obesity, heart disease, deaths from adverse reaction to drugs, confusion on what diet, what supplements, and who to believe is what they have delivered you. They push natural and organic products for your beauty and wellness, while their real solution is their plastic surgeons and Botox. We've been sold out. It's time for real science, a system science that interconnects the parts to discover truth, to know what really works, to get the health we need and deserve. This is why I created CytoSolve. CytoSolve is about truth, freedom, and health versus power, profit, and control. CytoSolve is a revolutionary technology integrating bioinformatics, computational biology, mathematical modeling, decentralization to reveal the truth. CytoSolve computes trillions of potential combinations of biomolecular interactions to discover what actually works based on the actual science. No reductionism, no cherry picking. CytoSolve's predictive modeling has been proven accurate time and time again, matching laboratory results. CytoSolve discovers synergistic combinations of compounds to maximize health and reduce toxicity. For example, we know curcumin from turmeric and resveratrol from red grapes alleviate inflammation, but how much should we combine? Current methods are hand-waving at best. Here, with CytoSolve, we first model the control condition with no curcumin and no resveratrol to simulate high inflammation with the cytokine level at 0.15 micromolar. Next, we add just 5 micromolars of curcumin. The inflammation drops to 0.05. Next, we use 5 micromolars of resveratrol, and the inflammation drops from 0.15 to 0.06. But when we combine curcumin and resveratrol of 3 micromolars of curcumin and 2 micromolars of resveratrol, inflammation drops from 0.15 to 0.03, far lower, nearly 200% less than just one compound alone. That's the synergy principle of system science. We've all had enough of their fake and reductionist science. They think we'll simply keep buying their marketing, their celebrities, and their products that can never truly heal us. We don't need them. Great things come when we integrate the best of things. It's our time. It's time we delivered solutions for ourselves. It's time for truth, freedom, and health. It's time for CytoSolve. Welcome.
Good morning, Prabhakar. Is everyone here? Hello?
Yeah, we have about, I think we still, people are coming in, but I think we can begin, Dr. Shiva.
Okay, great. Well, everyone, this is our monthly CytoSolve Symposium. And Prabhakar, if you can bring up the slides. Each month, we decided that we would take a particular topic and go very, very deep into that topic to basically educate people on a multi-systems health issue. Today, we're going to be talking about the molecular science of women's health. And Prabhakar, I think you played Journey to Systems and CytoSolve, both videos, right?
Yes.
So we live in a very interesting world right now where there's immense amounts of duplicity. And that duplicity occurs because people are actually made dumb. And the definition of dumb, when I use that, is to focus people's attention at parts of a system and then think by solving a particular component of a system, you're solving the systemic issues of a system, you say? And that's what's going on. So people are actually being made dumb. Many of you know it was I who was the first to call out, I call him Booby fucking Kennedy, for his duplicity, that he was really not having anything to do with medical freedom. He comes from a lineage of people who do not care about the immune system of individuals, but rather they've always been in alliance with Big Pharma. When I did this in 2020, a number of people who are dumb, who think someone's going to come save them, attacked me viciously. But I said the right thing at the right time. In fact, I exposed Kennedy so hard that he wrote a blog post accusing me of being a vaccine maker, which was, and we sued him for $93 million in a defamation lawsuit. And the guy kept evading service. This guy's a criminal. Our movement, and particularly CytoSolve, provides scientific source of truth, and we've always been on the mark. So all of you who made it here this morning, welcome. But you got to understand our movement is stellar. We always tell the right thing using science and a systems approach. And our movement does these public service seminars. It's a lot of work to educate people on a systems approach. We want to focus on an issue that the establishment really doesn't talk about, women's health, for all sorts of reasons. It's unfortunate, but we will address it. We're going to go through a multi-part aspect of what is women's health, and I think it'll help men and women. But one of the things we're doing is everything we do is bottoms up. You know, we are delivering new medicines by science for the people, by the people. That's what CytoSolve is. A very powerful technology that I invented when I was at MIT for my PhD work. But instead of keeping it and allowing big pharma to use it, I took it to all of you. And we do these seminars to educate all of you. But our hope is there will be a reciprocity here, that you guys will take this knowledge and reciprocate by making sure other people know about this knowledge. We have an entire affiliate program where all the new discoveries we're making, the new medicines we're identifying, that you guys can take this out to market. You become the distribution engine, not some other, vehicles. So that's what this is about. So we're very, very clear why we do these symposiums, is to educate you, inspire you, and get people off their butts to help what we've created for the world. And this is science by the people for the people. So before we end, we'll talk about an entire affiliate program we have. We have a number of people. So as CytoSolve discovers new things, creates new things, identifies new products, the old model would be I would have sold CytoSolve to some hedge fund, private equity company. Could have made, billions off of it. But the problem is it would get squashed. The knowledge of it would get hidden away, the usability. But that's why, to be in integrity, it's a much longer, harder path, but it's the one that's the right path. And we always take the right path. So again, the reason I commented on Booby Kennedy, he doesn't give a fuck about women's health. His whole life has been, and his whole family's life has been destroying women. And you can look at it medically, as mentally, as well as spiritually. So any one of you here who has people who you know out there who are Johnny-come-latelys in exposing Kennedy and never took the heat, like Mike Adams, talks still a stupid game, you should call them all out. But if you made it here, then welcome, become part of this movement. CytoSolve is one element of our solution for Truth, Freedom, Health. We have Clean Food Certified, we have Systems Health. And we're going to present to you not only women's health, but a way that all of you can participate in getting these solutions out there to our mothers and our grandmothers and our daughters by education. But you have to be part of this, and you have no excuse anymore to say, well, I don't know what to do, because our movement has always been on top of it. So get involved. So let's begin. Thanks, Prabhakar. And I'm joined by Dr. Prabhakar, who's very dedicated to all of this. He and I work very closely together with our team. And all of this knowledge, there's no cost for it. So support us by buying CytoSolve products, becoming an affiliate, letting others know, bringing other people to our orientation. But each one of you needs to be part of the solution. Let's start. So we're going to discuss what is system science, the science, the politics, and the health. You see, they're all interrelated. Dr. Prabhakar played you a video on what is CytoSolve. Then we're going to go into the background on women's health, the molecular systems architecture, the various quote-unquote diseases associated with women's health, nutrients for women's health. But we're also pleased to announce that we're going to be rolling out through our systems health educators a way, particularly in the area of menopause, to be specific, where women can do, through our approach, an assessment to understand where they're at. We're going to provide education on a protocol of lifestyle and a very powerful set of combination of herbs we put together from integrating Eastern medicine with Western system science. And then people can check in again, but we want to make this very scientific. And we have many, many other solutions that all of you can be part of. But again, we're doing this as a noble service. Be part of it. And we'll talk about how to support CytoSolve. Next. So Dr. Prabhakar played this Journey to Systems video. We need to see health as a large-scale system. It's not going to come from removing just red dye or, thinking that it's going to happen by doing Qigong or just by doing macrobiotics or just drinking some green tea. It's no one thing that's going to deliver health. It's a systems problem. But at a fundamental level, everyone needs to understand that those in power have no interest in health. And if that's not clear, look at this graph. Lifespan is going down and cost of living is going up. The difference between even one zip code in Philadelphia, between is nearly a 20-year difference in lifespan in one zip code. Wealthy zip code, a poor zip code in Virginia, West Virginia versus Fairfax County, Virginia. 20-year difference in the lifespan of a male, 62 years old in one zip code and 85 in another, 23 years. Please get it clear that the elites don't give a fuck about your health. And get that really clear. Because if you're going to address ultimately health, you have to address the issues of politics. Health is not going to mysteriously come by just taking something. Yes, it will protect you. Yes, you should eat well. But why are you doing all those things? As we teach, to fight. You're getting healthy. Why? Not to just live long, but to fight for others. Because look what's going on. Cost of living is going up. Lifespan is coming down. So even health must be done with a purpose, not for like, I'm healthy and I get to live long. Why do you want to be healthy and live long? Because you want to be strong. You want to be a warrior. And our Truth from Health movement brings this aspect up. Health is not just about doing yoga and meditating under a tree and, meditating on whatever and having enlightenment and saying, oh, I'm so healthy. No, that's just a very, very selfish aspect of health. But this is what's going on. Next. Now, as we've talked about, everything ultimately comes to your immune system, which we talked about. Prabhakar, when was that? The last one we gave, right? The first. Oh, that we did that in our Systems Health Symposium, which some of you, we do that once every Friday. It's a whole another solution, but we gave a 3-hour symposium on immune health, which is very similar to what I've talked about since 2019, even before that. We're the ones who saved hundreds of millions of people's lives during 2020. Our movement did that. My work did that. While others were promoting lockdowns like Booby fucking Kennedy, including Jay Bhattacharya, who promoted lockdowns, we were telling people the lockdowns were bad, how to protect their immune health. We gave people actual solutions, didn't charge a penny for it. But fundamentally, stress destroys your immune system. Okay? And that stress can come from the fact that you can't even get proper food. Income stress, income level stress, the economy affects you. Governance, corrupt leaders. The inability to actually teach people how to be innovative and solve problems. Everyone's forced to be relying on some fool coming to help them from the skies. Or people unable to see the whole. So the education system, the innovation system, the governance system, the economic system, the healthcare system, the environmental systems are all corrupt. And you just saw Booby fucking Kennedy, after he said he was against vaccine mandates, encouraging everyone to go get the MMR vaccine. And we predicted that. No one wanted to believe us because people fucking want to be stupid. So please don't be stupid. The movement for Truth, Freedom, Health is like a Navy SEAL training thing. It's not for everyone. It's not for people who want to be dumb. But if you want to be smart, then you're going to have to go through the program. We made it for nothing, $100. You should charge $100,000 for that. And then we're looking for people with character, people who are committed, who don't dabble around. And if we get 5,000 people like that on this planet, that's a lot, believe it or not. But we already have about over 500,000 to 1 million who've touched our movement. But a lot of people dabble. They don't want to finish the course. They don't want to learn the concepts. And they don't have the integrity and the character and the discipline. But if you want to do all of that, you're going to learn how to fight this next. And that is the movement for Truth, Freedom, Health. We are educating people. Next slide. We're educating people how to boost their immune system. Next. We're educating people how to fight on the ground. We're educating people how to deliver clean food. We have a clean food certification. We're giving people systems education. We have a whole program for young kids to be innovative. We fund them, in fact. But we teach people how to fight. And the purpose of life is to fight evil. So again, Truth, Freedom, Health is not for dabblers and dilettantes. We do these symposiums for one reason. Out of 10,000 people, maybe we'll find one person who's serious. And I want to work with that one person. That's what we want. And that's how we change the world. Not by people who are sniffing over here, sniffing somewhere up here, thinking someone's going to come from above. The movement for Truth, Freedom, Health is the only force on the planet which can solve the problems of our time. It is a deep movement which educates you on system science, and we have solutions. actual real solutions. I said in a tweet, I am the truth, the way, and the light, and so are you. There is no Messiah coming to save you. There isn't. You have to want to save yourself. And the knowledge and the learnings we teach at Truth Freedom Health is your pathway to your own salvation. Next. So, a lot of people go to mosques and churches and temples. That's all nice, but it's actually more of taking some opium, or some heroin just to anesthetize you for a couple of minutes. The real way out of this is for you to get educated, to understand the dynamics of how you get fucked over and how to overcome that. So go to truthfreedomhealth.com. Step one, if you haven't done that, check out of the symposium right now because you're not committed. Go there. If you're a warrior scholar, finish the program. If you're not, become one. Make a contribution to yourself. But it will teach you the science of systems. It took me 50 years to put this together. And as more and more I teach it, my level of patience as an educator, and people have told me this, as you educate, the great teachers, after a while, get very, very impatient. They don't want to work with, unprofessional students. They don't want to work with people who are not dedicated. So that's why I'm a little bit more cut and dry. And as time goes on, I get even more cut and dry because I want to just work with really dedicated people. Because our movement has called this shit out at the right time all the time. And our movement wants people who are respectful for the work we have done. We're not asking people for something we have not done. But you show action by signing up. And if you haven't signed up and you're already part of this, go finish the course. Do it 10 times. Next. And you can start everyone here by coming to the orientation, which we do every Thursdays, 11 a.m. and 8 p.m. Again, this is a gift to you. It's a golden gift, but bring one or two other people. You do some service for others. You may have to talk to 10 people to get one person to show up, if you're lucky. But I dare you to bring 2 people to our next symposium. Prabhakar will put up the link to the vashiva.com/orientation. But it's going to health, women's health, men's health. Anything's not going to happen by those in power. They don't want you to be healthy. We do. Next. Next slide. But if you think about it, you can't heal yourself without thinking, which is why we do these symposiums, which is CytoSolve. But then you also have to fight, which is Truth Freedom Health. And you have to heal, which is Systems Health. Next. And in each one of these areas, we have solutions. Truth Freedom Health is a platform for revolutionary leadership. It's a training institute. Again, it's a Navy SEAL-like institute. We have Systems Health. Dr. Prabhakar put, that's a different training ground for people who want to really directly go help people with their health, personalized health. And then CytoSolve is the Open Science Institute. We are using this very powerful technology to look at all the amazing natural compounds in nature. We're going after every major disease. We've mapped out 35 diseases, from very complex diseases like ALS to major diseases like metabolic health, like diabetes. And we have solutions for each one of those. Our Systems Health educators will be distributing those solutions by education. We don't want to compete with the medical world. We want to educate people. Say, look, this is what kind of system you are. These are the foods and lifestyle that may be good for you. Now you decide if you want to do this. Go ask your stupid doctor. Tell them I'm planning on doing this lifestyle. Is it good for me? Let them make the decision. But we are an educational movement. Next. So the core is food is medicine. Why is food medicine? Because food is composed of many, many amazing chemical compounds. And the first thing is, next slide, you have to understand what is the source of your food. Is it clean, conscious living, ethical, and nutritious? We own that seal. That seal, Clean Food, certifies itself a bottoms-up seal that I helped create starting in 2013 with the natural products industry. It's a very high standard. We look at where the food was sourced, how it was processed, how it ended up on your table, beyond just organic. And all of you here can become clean food consultants. You can take this solution into your community right now, to restaurants, to manufacturers, and you can help them get clean food certified. You can, in fact, create a business model for you to be a clean food consultant, inspector, ambassador of sorts. solution number one. It's there. We developed it in 2013. It's a global solution. So anyone who's into the environment and food, you can help out there. Next. And then we have our Clean Food Forum, I think next Tuesday. Every other Tuesday, we feature a particular area of food, supplements, or I think we're doing organic sugar, right? Not all sugar is bad or good. It's the sourcing of it and how much you take. So we'll talk about a company which just recently got Clean Food certified. But you can come to that. And you can also figure out how you can be part of that movement. And we have, believe it or not, a team of women who are leading that from all over the United States and across the world. Next. CytoSolve. I mean, this is revolutionary technology. I'm glad I didn't take the short route and give it away to a big pharma. We use this for uncovering new medicines, faster, cheaper, and safer. And we'll talk about that from nature next. And one of the powerful medicines we've created is CytoSolve and MV25. And we'll talk about the path how we came to discover that. But we're going after every major disease. And our view is we find the solutions, and you guys as affiliates can go direct to people, educate them, and distribute them. Because all the big companies are controlled. So if you actually discover a product that works to get it out on the shelves, you have to pay Whole Foods about $10 million just to get shelf space. Who can compete with that? So when you have really good products, the amount of money you have to raise to get your distribution out there, you have to sell out. We're not going to do that. It's a little bit longer, but each one of you can be part of that distribution solution. Next. Joint tea, a very powerful tea. By the way, everyone needs to understand, why did Columbus want to go to India? It wasn't to go hang out with the brown people. Because India was known for these incredible spices and herbs that you could not get anywhere on the planet. Amazing foods. And that's why Columbus wanted to go there. Now, I've had a great commitment to engineering system science, a bunch of degrees at MIT, and ancient systems of medicine. And, it took us this vision has been with me since I was 5 years old. But in the last 5 years, we've been able to bring that vision to fruition by using indigenous herbs that grow in the forests of India that no one can get. You can't just go pick this anywhere. Combining the right formulations, using CytoSolve as a base, mixing East and West. And now we have created 7 different teas, and we can only make them in small batches. We had 2 of our warrior scholars over at my home this past weekend, and these teas taste amazing. They taste fresh. It feels like you're getting healed as you drink them. One of them is joint tea. Okay. Next, we have Dr. Prabhakar, if you can go through them. Digestion. Next, breathe tea for breath. Tranquility for improved sleep, relaxation. Next, detox. It's probably springtime is coming. Is a great time to detox. For women's health, feminine tea. Next, and immunity. Now, the immune system is a core. In my view, everyone should be consuming this because it supports your core immune system. Next. And as a part of CytoSolve, we do these symposiums, as I mentioned. Next. First Tuesdays. Finally, the third solution we have is Truth, Freedom, Health. Systems Health, where we have an institute now. Dr. Prabhakar, if you can bring up the site, systemshealth.com. This I launched in 2010. We trained thousands of people, but we relaunched it again. And we have our first set of students who are going through the program. It's a very rigorous program. You have to take self-paced courses. You have to come to the live events. There's laboratories. But we're creating a new breed of health educators. By the way, the health education business is a $270 billion industry. But it's going to be filled with booby fucking Kennedy idiots promoting vaccine mandates, promoting mask mandates. That's what they mean by health education. We're talking about systems health education, delivering personalized health, and every one of you can be part of that solution. And in fact, we've created an economic model that when you go through this program, Prabhakar, go down, we have a master's level certification program, and the one on the left with the beautiful rose on the left. And if you go through that program, we were giving it away. No one valued it. So we priced it what it is. It's $28.5. Then we give people a scholarship. And then then we have a model, if people want to serve and learn. If you want to contribute to us and help, we give people an even more greater scholarship. But you can't get this knowledge anywhere else. Go down. And this program begins with people understanding the foundations of system self. Prabhakar, go down. It's a 3-part self-paced course. You can do that on your own for people who are busy. It involves systems care. It involves, and on Friday, I'll go through this more in the interest of time. I don't want to go through all of this. And then it's got 3 live courses where I teach people anatomy of the body, but from a systems perspective, a tool, your body, your system. We teach people how to create a business, a health education business. And there's 3 laboratories. Thanks, Prabhakar. Dr. Prabhakar will put up the tutorial we do, but this is available to all of you. And this army of system self-educators will be the deliverers of the solutions that CytoSolve creates using clean supplements, clean compounds. Thanks, Prabhakar. Next. So all of you have solutions independent of the government, independent of the swarm, that you can help deliver. But you got to want to do it. Now that we have the solutions, and you guys made it this far, the unfortunate problem you have is you can't say, I didn't know. You have to act. So this tool, Prabhakar, start with the first one, helps you identify, our system self-educators have a tool, helps you identify what kind of system you are, when is your system off course, which is a black dot, and then how to bring the black dot to the red dot, which is foods, particular exercises. So we've created a personalized health program. And now we're going to be layering it with all the different diseases so people can get educated on what causes these diseases. Again, we're not here to prescribe medicine. Let the doctors go prescribe all that crap. We're here to educate people, to find people want to save themselves. Next. Thanks, Prabhakar. So again, in this context, we have a Vata tea, personalized. You'll understand what that is. Pitta tea, Kapha tea. And based on how you're off course, these teas help you bring it on course. Thanks, Prabhakar. All right. So next, let's now recognize that first step, go become a Truth from Health Warrior Scholar. Next, go to truthfromhealth.com. Free membership, free. And you still get a lot of stuff. If you want to not be too chintzy and not be, pecuniary for your own self, next, you can pay $100 and you get a whole bunch of gifts, books, and you can become a warrior scholar. It's up to you. We're not here to push anything on anyone. We're looking for people who are already evolved enough to understand that they have to do this on themselves, and we provide the knowledge. Next. All right, come to the orientation. Let's begin now to really talk about, you've understood what CytoSolve is. Let's go right into women's health, okay? By the way, CytoSolve is this platform, right? It's a technology platform. It's beyond AI. It's about actually understanding individual chemical equations, pieces of scientific truth, connecting them together. Again, not AI. AI carries with it all the flaws of human beings. This is actually looking at the reality of truth as it is and interconnecting it. Next. So it's beyond AI. And I worked in AI for many years. AI is actually quite dumb. What you're seeing now is the machine is mimicking human processes, but it's basically a calculator in the cloud. So you can just do it faster. But what we do at CytoSolve is we take any disease, like we're going to walk through women's health, but to give you by way of example, we take an area, we look at all those little chemical pieces of truth, and then we connect them together. That's called the systems architecture. Next. Then we publish it. We give it away to the world. We don't hold on to it. We're not secretive, so others can look at it publicly, tell us if we're right or wrong, and we update our work. Next. And then we model it. And next, after we model it, we then go through the process of using those physical chemistry models to screen compounds without killing animals, combination screening. Next. And then we can patent these technologies or make sure Jeff Bezos or Bill Gates doesn't get a hold of them. Next. And then we manufacture them. Now, we never thought we'd be doing phase 6, but we were forced to do it because of our success from phases 1 through 5. Next. So when you look at something like, and here are all the diseases from osteoarthritis to ALS, rheumatoid arthritis, gynecological issues, Alzheimer's, a whole bunch of them. And we've done this for pennies upon the dollar. If we had as much funding as the NIH, I mean, we would literally cure every freaking disease on the planet. But they don't want to cure anything, guys. They don't want to solve anything. They want to keep you all slaves. But this helps us go after. And you can see the reason we have phase 1, phase 2. You can see we have 2 solutions that are in phase 6. We have 5 which are coming out of combination screening. 4 where we're doing the screening. And you can get an idea that you can be part of this. Next. So this is how we develop products. It's vertically fully integrated. Next. And we start with the systems architecture. That's what we're doing right now for women's health. Next. So MV25 is a product of that. Next. So you can see with MV25, first we did the systems architecture. We published this. Next, Prabhakar. We published it. We mathematically documented every molecular reaction that's involved in osteoarthritis of the knee. Then we did the screening. And then we discovered from nature 2 very important compounds, combined them to create a very powerful medicine, which we then manufactured. And we didn't know how we were going to get it out there, given all the censorship and shadow banning. So we do our own videos. We don't rely on Whole Foods or anyone else, but we now have our own warrior scholars who are affiliates taking this out. And we have a patent on this, and we manufactured it. Again, using one of our own partners, a gentleman in Michigan who supports our movement. He helped us manufacture it. So all of this is by the people, for the people. Next. So when we look at, and by the way, go buy these products, go to our shop. When you buy them, we take all your money and we put it right back into supporting CytoSolve. Next. Teas, go back there, go up and get it, guys. Go to vashiva.com, the shop. So it's a simple way. You're going to get some really amazing products, but you're directly funding research. It's not like your tax dollars are going to somewhere and maybe you're getting something. This is going direct to build these products. Next. Next. So women's health. What's our women's health initiative? We believe that, women's health in some ways is not really given. The establishment spends very little on women's health when women are the source of all, many ways, life. Life comes from women. And again, the goal is they don't care about women. They don't care about increasing lifespan. So we decided it was very important to have a women's health initiative. So what is women's health? Next. So women's health really focuses on a number of areas. Now we could keep adding stuff, endometriosis, a whole bunch of other things, but this is like the major areas, okay? PCOS, right? Polycystic ovarian syndrome, breast cancer, premenstrual syndrome, irregular menstrual cycles, osteoporosis, breastfeeding issues, menopause. We could keep adding, but these are some of the top 7 ones. And to understand this, we have to go down to the molecular systems level, understand those scientific pieces of truth. So, for example, polycystic ovarian syndrome, PCOS, this is actually a quote unquote a chemical condition or a hormonal condition. By the way, hormones are chemicals that communicate between organs that affect women of reproductive age. Now, it also affects women with a family history of it, or type 2 diabetes are higher at risk. So we have a diabetes health education solution we're rolling out for both pre-diabetic people as well as post-diabetic people. And the symptoms include irregular periods, infertility, acne, excessive hair, and weight gain. When you look at the numbers, about 8 to 13% of reproductive age women are affected by PCOS. Next. It's a pretty large number, actually. Breast cancer. Now, breast cancer is a disease in which abnormal breast cells grow out of control. And one belief is it's caused by mutation in the genes, BRCA1, 2, and PLB2, radiation exposure, obesity, and use of alcohol. So these are the different things that affect breast cancer. Now, the symptoms include breast lump or thickening, change in size, shape or appearance of the breast, change in appearance and bloody fluid. Okay, so these are the things that affect breast health. There is some, Prabhakar say on that, there's some very interesting data showing the mammograms itself, which expose people to breast cancer, may be a source of this. Okay, next. 2.3 million people. Prabhakar, I think that's in the world, right? Suffer from breast cancer. Next. PMS, premenstrual syndrome. Now, this is what people call a somatic and psychological condition that's characterized by significant distress, some levels of functional impairment during the luteal phase of the menstrual cycle. Now, PMS symptoms are caused by estrogen surplus and progesterone deficiency. The symptoms include weight gain, abdominal pain, back pain, lower back pain, headache, swelling and tenderness of the breasts, irritability, fatigue, restlessness, mood swings, and crying. That's what PMS involves. Next. 47.8% suffer from this, okay? Now, it is assumed that PMS is something that everyone, it's been normalized in some ways. Next. Irregular menstrual cycles. This involved meaning the cycles are shorter or longer than the normal. The menstrual cycles are much heavier, much lighter. People suffer from abdominal cramps. The menstrual irregularities can have a variety of causes. Again, hormone imbalances, infections, diseases, and trauma, and certain medications. Next. Again, 35% of women suffer irregular menstrual cycles. Now, osteoporosis is typically, when you hear that, you just think it's a bone disease, but, affects women significantly. It's what people call a silent disease. And sometimes people don't even know they have it until a bone just breaks. And this occurs when the bone mineral density and mass decrease, or the bone structure and strength changes. So it's literally the structure of the bone. So in the Eastern systems of medicine, we'd call this kapha, or the storage element, which is the element that sustains you, starts breaking down. It's like your bricks in a house coming down, or the studs in or the infrastructure breaking. So it's pretty serious. And this can lead to weaker bones, higher risk of fractures, spine fractures. This can cause severe back pain and changes in posture. Next. 23% of osteoporosis. Breastfeeding issues. Now, this provides, as people know, breastfeeding provides a nutritional support and fosters emotional dependency for the baby on the breastfeeding parent. Very, very important in the period for many, many reasons why breastfeeding is important. Now, obviously, there's been a whole study now talking about the quality of the breast milk, given all the toxins in the atmosphere. I think the New York Times about 10 years ago had a very interesting article looking at the quantity of flame retardants in women's breast milk. But nonetheless, breastfeeding is central to the advancement of a healthy child. Now, lactating women face high nutritional demands, leading to nutritional stress and undernourishment. So the mother's undernourished. Obviously, this causes all sorts of breastfeeding issues. Next. 6.9 million women suffer from acute malnutrition. Next. Menopause. Well, we have already started some work. We're not going to go into all the details of this, but we're going to actually share with you where our solution trajectory is on this. But it's really caused by the loss of the ovarian follicular function and a decline in circulating blood estrogen levels. Symptoms are hot flashes, night sweats, urinary urgency, difficulty sleeping, emotional changes, irregular periods. Next. So what we have developed, we'll walk you through, is we have developed, and we're going to roll this out through our Systems Health program. So those women who are interested in participating in this, or you have women we have a questionnaire that we've developed that will help assess the level of menopausal issues. Then we're going to provide on a personalized level using Systems Health a lifestyle solution. And then we're going to check that progress against this questionnaire. And one of those solutions is feminine tea. Now, this tea includes, Dr. Prabhakar, if you can share the herbs in this. This was crafted to support women's health. And this tea formulation comes from the combination of using CytoSolve as well as looking at ancient systems of medicine. The herbs in this tea are quite, if we can bring it here, if you can grow up a little bit, Prabhakar. It includes black cumin, ink nut, betel nut, black katichu, gall nut, fig tree bark, gum arabic, and tree bark. These are many, many interesting herbs you can't get anywhere else from India. And again, these are wild crafted, indigenously picked, and we can only make them in batches of about 100 or 200. So this is really like gold. So anyway, we have, again, for those of you who are interested in being affiliates and becoming Systems Health educators, we will do them directly, but we want to also make them, we want to create an entire sustainable network that people can take this out to women in this case. Next. So let's talk about the conventional interventions. For the first one, polyovarian syndrome. The conventional interventions are exercise, metformin, which is insulin resistance treatment, a low-carb diet, thyroxine hormone regulation, contraceptive medicines, anti-androgens, and laparoscopic ovarian surgery. For breast cancer, it's typically surgery, removal of the breasts, chemotherapy, radiation therapy, and hormone therapy. But these are the conventional interventions that are done for both of these. Next. For premenstrual syndrome and irregular menstrual cycle, typically people give a hormone, GnRH, gonadotropin-releasing hormone, agonists, spironolactone, contraceptive pills, dietary nutritional modifications. For irregular menstrual cycle, there's cyclic progesterone therapy, oral contraceptives, and medications containing progestin or tranexamic acid. So again, these are the big pharma solutions. Next. Except for the nutritional work. In osteoporosis, typically it's hormone therapy, selective estrogen receptor modulations, biophosphonates such as alendronate, risendronate, or ibandronate. And for breastfeeding issues, there's galactagogue, which is metoclopramide, pumping the breast, HGH, human growth hormone, massage and compression, and counseling and health education. Next. So we'll tell you where we're at in our research. We've identified the factors leading to many of these issues. One is genetic, as we've talked about, but we know that genetic can be also, genes can be turned on and off from the work that was done in 2003 on the Human Genome Project. Hormone imbalance, insulin resistance, environmental factors, sedentary lifestyle, hypothyroidism, psychological stress factors, smoking, consumption of high carbs, and poor diet habits. Now, if you look at except from 2 to 10, 9 of these are controllable through the process of you taking action or what you consume, okay? So there are things, obviously the genetic stuff, the issues, epigenetic factors can turn on, turn off genes. So you could argue that lifestyle, the tensions and the stresses you're under, the choices people make are really 9 out of 10 issues. Next. Now, the work that we're currently doing is we're really looking at the systems biology, trying to understand what's going on at the molecular level. So if you look at breast cancer is really driven by 4 major elements: inflammation, genetic mutations, And you have to ask, where did those mutations come from? MicroRNAs and pharmaceutical drugs. So these things you can see along affect breast cancer. So cytokine hormones are the ones that lead to inflammation, genetic mutations, miRNAs, and drugs. Okay, and these things affect the increased cell proliferation and the lower cell death leading to cancer. So remember, in cancer, what happens is cells, as they get old, should die, and there should be a cell cycling. That's called apoptosis, cell death. Cell death doesn't occur, so shitty cells are hanging out, to put it bluntly. So that contributes. And then the proliferation of cells, increased cell proliferation. Those two things contribute to this. Next. Now, PCOS arises due to hormonal imbalance. And what you see here is on the upper left, you have the liver. And it's very similar to what occurs in diabetes, as we talked about. But in polycystic ovarian syndrome, you have a luteinizing hormone, LH, is secreted in excess by the pituitary gland. So if you look on the right side, you have the HPA axis, a hypothalamus pituitary axis there. And there's a abnormal amount of GnRH, as Dr. Prabhakar is pointing out there, which leads to excess secretion of luteinizing hormone, LH, on the far right, from the adrenal glands, okay? And that release affects polycystic ovary, and you have chronic anovulation, which results in uterine bleeding, okay? That in turn, as you can see on the left side there, so as the LH further destabilizes hormones from the adrenal glands, insulin leading to chronic ovulation. So you keep ovulating, hyperandrogenism, insulin resistance, and obesity, which then affects the liver. And obviously, the obesity then has a feedback cycle and the stressors that it creates to create insulin resistance. Your muscles are supposed to suck up all the sugars, and they don't. And insulin level goes up, and you have hyperinsulin anemia. Okay, so this is a vicious cycle, but it begins with the hormonal imbalance because excess luteinizing hormone is being excreted, and you have to look at why that happens. Remember, we've talked about this before. The hypothalamus pituitary axis is stress, environmental stress, financial stress, economic stress, mental stress, spiritual stress, right? These stressors have serious problems that they cause. And you can argue that many of these stresses are typically external, caused by policies of the swarm. We have shared with you that, there's a significant difference between people who have economic inequalities having diseases or who have economic inequity than those who don't. So these stressors are what drives this entire cycle. Dr. Prabhakar, do you want to add anything to that?
Yes, so I think the HPA axis plays a major role. So any external stresses also can contribute to PCOS in addition to the hormonal imbalance that is driven through the HPA axis. So again, as we mentioned briefly earlier, people who have a risk of diabetes 2 in their family history, they're also prone to PCOS because of this particular pathway. So you have abnormal hormones in the liver. Your pancreas is not responding to, or it is creating excess insulin, and insulin resistance is created in your skeletal muscles, and these are all linked with obesity and the polycystic ovary syndrome.
Okay. Next. Now, when it comes to osteoporosis, it's aging in women that causes the estrogen deficiency. Okay, quote unquote aging. Okay, and this deficiency upregulates inflammatory biomarkers. We've talked about these biomarkers such as IL-1, IL-6, and TNF alpha, ALPHA. It's okay, but the alpha, TNF alpha, you can see right there when you have estrogen deficiency, you increase right there in the middle, IL-1/6 alpha. These are cytokines. These cytokines, the effect that they have are they upregulate bone degrading osteoclasts. So these osteoclasts degrade your bone, and then they have an unfortunate effect. They downregulate osteoclasts. They upregulate osteoclasts, which are the things that degrade your bone, and they downregulate the healthy osteoblasts, which generate bone. So the inflammation, the estrogen deficiency, results in IL-1 and IL-6 and TNF alpha being increased, which then affects, you can see along the left and the right, that ultimately it leads to, if you look at the bottom there, the OC, osteoclasts, and the osteoblasts. So you have osteoblasts no longer, they're downregulated, and the osteoclasts start to grow. See, this is not a good thing. So on the right side, you can see those are the molecular mechanisms that are also affected by estrogen deficiency, which leads to the downregulation of osteoblasts. That's what the minus sign means. And on the left side, the plus sign means you get increased creation of osteoclasts, which degrade your bone. So on the one hand, you don't have enough osteoblasts to build bone, and you're breaking down bone with osteoclasts. That's what we have here. Okay. Next. When it comes to breastfeeding issues, first of all, we need to understand there's a hormone called prolactin, PRL, and that's what's responsible for delivering milk. So an external stimuli, right, like a sound, a light, or odor, right? Again, the hypothalamus, the entire stress system is the hypothalamus pituitary axis. So in this case, you have an external stimuli, light or odor. If you follow the right angle through, the external stimulus, such as environment stress, can cause excess production. Again, it affects the hypothalamus, which affects the post-pituitary, right? Well, if we follow the bottom line, you increase PRF in the middle, as Dr. Prabhakar is showing. That leads to the anterior pituitary, HPA axis, again, releasing prolactin, which results in milk synthesis right there, okay? But now the excess production of PRL is associated with breastfeeding complications. So if you have too much PRL coming through, right, that leads to the breastfeeding issue. So you have increase in PRF up on top. You block the dopamine right there. And then you have increased growth hormone, which replaces prolactin, HPRL. And then you get improved insulin sensitivity. Okay. So if you follow this all the way through, if you follow the positive axis on the far right, the hypothalamus, releases oxytocin, the milk comes out, the infant begins suckling. That's the afferent nerve pathway back to the woman. So that's the positive cycle, okay, on the outside. But when you have stresses and then you go down this other unfortunate axis down the middle, and then in the bottom you have milk stasis, which means milk is not being produced. Okay, Prabhakar, Dr. Prabhakar, do you want to add anything here?
Yeah, I think that covers it. That's it. So the blue ones are the treatments that they're providing that can help with the milk stasis. The blue rectangles. So, for
Yeah,
example, they can
just
increase. Yeah.
I'm sorry, milk stasis, just to be clear, that means the stoppage of milk. But go ahead, Prabhakar. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Right. So if you have excess of PRL, you end up with milk stasis. And these are some of the intervention that people are coming up with, which are mainly pharmaceutical or hormonal that help with the issue. So that's what this diagram is kind of saying. So it gives you the idea about what is the problem, how the problem is caused, and what are the solutions people are right now using to address the issue.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So let's go to the next one. So that is sort of a systems level diagram, what's going on there. Let's go to the next one. What
So these
we
are
are,
basically the next steps that we will be undertaking. So one, we're working on the systems architecture. The next step is publication, and then we'll go to the in silico modeling, and then in a combination screening, we'll identify the natural ingredients that can help with women's health. So we have so far identified 25 natural ingredients.
yeah, what's interesting about these ingredients is some of them you may have heard of. Fenugreek is supposed to help increase breast milk. But what's interesting is all of these, when we're looking at women's health, and we'll do a update to this. Okay, this is just the beginning of women's health. We're going to have a whole series that many of the compounds in these 25 ingredients out of the thousands we've spent identifying affect particular molecular mechanisms in a positive way. So you can see some of these here. The issue always is how much should you take? So in Chinese medicine, for example, number 4, people are talking about Dong Quai, or in Indian medicine, fenugreek, okay? Maca, or pomegranate seeds or ashwagandha. But the issue is how much should you take, what versions you should take, which are the most powerful versions. That's what we use CytoSolve for. Some of this effort has gone into now building one of the products which we have for our teas, and we'll come back to that. But our model is we're going to, for each one of these areas, we have the tea, which is a killer support system. It's sort of a foundational element.
Right.
Um,
So,
yep.
Just a quick point, Dr. Shiva. So, some of you who have attended our previous symposium about relaxation may observe that there's a kind of an overlap of ingredients with the ingredient that we looked at for relaxation and these, including you have the ginkgo, ginseng, valerian root, ashwagandha, and so on. And there is a reason for that because these ingredients actually target the HPA axis, which is a common a molecular mechanism between women's health, as we just reviewed, as well as the relaxation pathways, the stress and anxiety pathways. So I just wanted to make that note here.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I think people need to understand, even when we talked about immune health in our Systems Health Symposium, which is on Fridays once a month, we've talked about the HPA axis. And everyone who hasn't attended our seminar is welcome, but you'll learn that the HPA axis is all about stress. And then you have to ask, where is this stress coming from? Obviously, there's chemical stress, environmental stress, but the biggest stress comes from isolation, alienation, financial stress, and much of this is caused by the 0.001% upon us. Now, women's chemistries, one could argue, are much more sensitive relative to men's chemistries. So the amount of stress women are placed under, you could argue, is much more significant. And if you go through our Systems Health program, the key word we use to support that HPA axis is resilience. Resilience, resilience, resilience. So lifestyle, the right habits. But one of the most important things that builds and protects against the stressful environment, guess what it is? It's community, friendships, relationships, all of which were destroyed during the lockdowns. And many, many women in particular suffered massive levels of anxiety. And those things affected many of these pathways we've discussed. So you have to understand that at a very large scale systems level, the HPA axis, which is, if you go to the previous slides, in both of those slides, we noticed that the HPA axis was involved in release of these cytokines. And those cytokines, IL-1, IL-6, TNF-alpha, are very, very destructive, especially in the area of osteoarthritis, osteoporosis. See, on the right side, you have the HPA axis showing up relative to PCOS. Same with osteoporosis. You'll see the next slide, okay? So women are massively affected by stress. Next one. Same here, HPA axis again. So think about this. The politics of the swarm affects women in a very powerful way, stress-wise. And obviously that affects men too, right? So you have to, this is why we talk about truth, freedom, health. You can't just talk about health without understanding why is the HPA axis being turned on? Why is it under stress? Sure, okay, I didn't get enough fluoride or this, water stuff, but ultimately it's mental stress. When people are isolated and they don't have community and friendships, over 1,000 genes are turned on. That affects alienation. They're called isolation genes. We're going to do a whole, I think next March, April, we're going to have a whole series on isolation and what that does to this HPA axis. But understand that when the reason we wanted to do this was to show you this common theme, and as Dr. Prabhakar just emphasized, is stress. Next. So stress affects all of us, but I just want to say in many of these women's issues, it affects women particularly. Next. So these herbs and foods we're looking at with proper nutrition, at least you can give women support. But understand, everything we do is to say, let's identify those things that help us here and now. So you're almost giving a baseline, food, lifestyle, but ultimately we have to smash the system of the swarm, which creates all this stress upon all of us. So next, and obviously we'll go down our path. And again, to let you know, we are working on doing this. And anyone here, this is going to be, I think we call it GynoSolve, right, Prabhakar? It's going to be in its own new company, which is a subsidiary. People can help build this. People can support our research. People can fund this. It's up to you, but we're going to do it on our own anyway. It'll just take us a little bit longer. But we're going after all these women's health issues to really build education and tools and products to support resilience in women. Next. So how can you help? First thing everyone can help. Next slide. And we'll just summarize: buy our products, support our research. Let's go one by one. Buy our products. It's like a double whammy. You're supporting our products. The products go to fund more research, because we're not funded by the NIH. We're not funded by some, sugar daddy. We're not begging to government grants. We did all this research on our own. If we can get people buying these amazing products, they go right back into research. We can do more products. So you can go to mv25.life. Support your own health. This is for joint health. Momentum to move. Next. And by the way, we have 2 products coming out, I think in May, for immune health. But this is for your pups, It's got 16 different ingredients, all natural, which supports a pup's detox, code health. It's a general overall supplement. Next. We have the teas, as we've talked about. Next slide. That are integrating Eastern medicine and Western engineering system science. Go buy those. And they're really great. Again, they go really fast. We only can make them in small batches because we take great care. They're all clean certified. Next. You can also help us fund research. If you have money, or people have money out there and they're sitting on a fucking pile of money, go grab them to fund us. And if they claim they're for indigenous people and fighting racism, well, guess what? Everything we do at CytoSolve is honoring indigenous cultures, everything that they've contributed for centuries. Next. The next thing we have is we have the CytoSolve Open Science Institute. We are fundamentally, paragraph, you can go to the previous slide, we're going against smashing this old model of science. You got to get government funding, then you have to work in big academia, then you got to work with the big publishers. But this is this incestuous web, and you can't bust this up. We got to build our own parallel system here, and that's what we're doing. Our system says we discover medicines on our own, by the people, for the people. You guys help us get it out there. We're breaking this entire collusion. Next. And by the way, they kill tons of animals for unnecessary need. Next. Donate. Give $1. Go right now to vashiva.com/open-science. Support our research. You can be part of this research. If you have new product ideas, we'll help you develop them. That's why we say science by the people for the people. Next. You can help the Open Science Institute. Next. You can help the Women's Health Initiative. You can fund us. Go there and fund us. By the way, those of you who want tax write-offs, if you don't want to, go to the International Center for Integrative Systems, because when we do the systems architectures, it's done out of here. Okay? Anything you give here, you get a full 501c3, refund. Again, if you know wealthy people are sitting on money and they're going to die with a lot of money and they don't know what to do and they're living miserable lives, at least they can do something good with their money. Help them support us. Next. You can be an affiliate. You can take our products to market. We have a number of amazing people who are taking our products, taking them to flea markets, taking them to health food stores, building their own channels. And we need that to happen so we're not reliant on large enterprises. You can become an affiliate. You can refer products developed by CytoSolve. You can refer companies who want to use our service. There may be people who are building products, but they don't even know if their stuff works. We can help them figure that out. And to anyone wanting to do this, make a career out of it, we'll help you become part of it and develop your own business around this and be part of our community. Next. You can go to vashiva.com where it says contact customer service, and you can click on affiliate programs and you can sign up to be an affiliate. Next. You can help build new products. So you can, for example, next, maybe you want to make your own product. You want to use our infrastructure. You say, no, I think I want to go, solve this area. And I think my grandmother had some solution. I come from a certain culture. We'll help you figure out if it works, how it works, what the dosaging should be, do the science, etc. Next. So what are the next steps? Well, everyone here, Dr. Prabhakar will share this. If you want to be an affiliate, set up some time with us. We'll show you what it takes to be an affiliate. If you want to have a new idea, or if you know someone who's creating a product, or there's a company which needs help, set up time. Or for any other thing you want to follow up. I think they're 15-minute increments, right, Prabhakar? I think it's 60. I think they're 15. But
yeah.
So come to the meeting prepared, and we're looking to work with people. Again, this is science by the people for the people. We're going end to end. Think about what we've done. We've completely disintermediated academic world of science, as it's revolutionary, as well as big pharma guys. The only thing that's stopping us from getting out there is distribution of this knowledge, which is you. That's why we do these symposiums, as I mentioned. Next. So start by joining Truth Freedom Health. Make a contribution. It's really to yourself, but commit to going through the program, coming to our orientations, bringing other people that you know. We have an orientation coming every Thursday. Bring one new person. It's a great way you can contribute. Next. Again, as I mentioned, go to truthfreedomhealth.com. Do that. By the way, anyone who's part of we're building an entire business partner network. If we're going to roll out a support for people who are doing very, very innovative businesses, we want people to support the community that we're creating. And as I mentioned, we're creating a global community of incredible people. And community, ultimately, you build immunity by supporting community. You build community, boost immunity. Next. Come to the orientation. Next. Come to Systems Health. Again, these are all gifts for all of you guys. We do a tutorial every other Friday. Prabhakar, actually, it's systemshealth.com/tutorial or that. Dr. Prabhakar will share all these. If Emily's here, Prabhakar, or someone else or Noel, you can make them co-hosts and they'll put out all these links. But Systems Health is one of the other solution portfolios to help you become a Systems Health educator so you can deliver solutions. Next. Think, fight, and heal. Next. That's what this is all about. And you have these amazing platforms which you can all participate in. Next. There you go, everyone. So in summary, you should have understood there are many different women health issues. We talked about PCOS, breastfeeding issues, right? menopause. Which one have I missed, Prabhakar? Osteoporosis. And all these ultimately are interconnected, as you see, variations of effects on stress. And the key takeaway is that CytoSolve is looking at this from a molecular system standpoint. We're looking at nutrients in nature to identify combinations of that to build resilience. That's what we're doing. Thank you, everyone. We'll take some questions. When you ask your question, please put them in the chat. There's a little chat at the bottom. I'll read them out. It makes it easier, and it also forces you to be succinct. So you can ask any questions in the chat. Prabhakar, I think chat is open up so they can ask us questions. I know we initially lock it so people get distracted.
Yeah. I think people are chatting.
Yeah.
Sending the chats.
All right, let's take some questions here. I think they must be coming to you, Prabhakar.
So Scott is asking, is detoxifying the first step to making the rest of rest more productive?
Well, if you look at it from a, again, Scott, I invite you to come to our CytoSolve tutorial, but what is detoxification? What is it from a systems perspective? When you go to you do a car maintenance, when they clean your carburetor, right? When they put a new air filter in, right? These are aspects of detoxifying your car. Detoxification ultimately is making things perform better. Springtime and autumn time in traditional cultures were a great time to detox. But you have to be careful with detoxing because it's a double-edged sword. It took a long time, let's say, to build this building that I'm in. Building the structure took a long time to build you. Some people detox. I want to go to the other extreme. People detoxing all day long, and they actually can burn out their flame, right? Their fire within them. So I want to be very careful about this. If you make detoxification as a part of your natural dietary process, which means part of detoxing is don't eat after a certain hour during the day. Clean your body out, right? That's another thing is once a week, perhaps do a fast. That's the type of detoxing. Perhaps once in 90 days or once in 6 months, do a more deeper cleanse. You can do it with salt. There's different herbs, bowel cleansing. There's a whole bunch of them you can study about, which we talk about at Systems Health. But detoxing is a part that should be done, which supports the aspects of transport, movement, conversion in your body. But that's really the answer. I don't want to tell people to go detox. The tea that we've created is a powerful tea because you can incorporate it into your regular diet. Good question, though. So Emily just posted out, we have to sign up as a Warrior Scholar, you can go to vashiva.com/join. To sign up for a Systems Health tutorial, and go to systemshealth.com/tutorial.
So Tanya wants to know the dosage recommendation for the tea. I think it is there on the website.
Yeah, obviously we have to give a big disclaimer. We're not medical professionals. You should go consult your doctor before you do anything. On the website, we actually give, I think it says 30 days. I think it lasts more than 30 days. We're pretty generous. But what I do, Tanya, when I have the teas, I boil water. I mean, it's real herbs. And I'll put a 1/4 teaspoon into a, glass or a jar or whatever you want, or steeping, and I pour the water over it for about 5 minutes, 7 minutes, depending on how strong you want it. And you'll notice the herbs will settle to the bottom and you can drink it. Some people just like eating the herbs too. It's up to you. You can add, if you want, a little bit of honey, or some people like salt. But it's a 1/4 teaspoon to, about 8 ounces of hot water.
Barbara's asking, what does being an affiliate entail, briefly?
There's various levels. We have an affiliate for Clean Food Certified, where people are learning how to go into their communities. It's really up to you. affiliate is not something, it's saying you have to do, 1 minute a day or, 20 hours a day. It's really up to you. But an affiliate is really an ambassador. In the clean food, you can meet community members. We have flyers, cards, and what you're doing there is telling them what we're doing on the clean side and inviting them. In the case of CytoSolve, it is inviting people to the symposiums. You can directly take to market products that we have. We have the CytoSolve MV25 products. We have a number of immune products, teas. Some people are buying the teas in bulk, and we have to be careful because of supply. And then they're reselling them based on what they buy. They get significant wholesale discounts. The other aspect of being an affiliate could be you may not want to be involved in product sales. You may want to just find companies and people who want to create better products. That's a type of affiliate. You may want to help us go find people who have money, investors. That's a type of affiliate. And each one of those, based on your interest and level, we have compensation models too. So you can help us advance. Like we have each of these different disease areas we've put into different companies. You may say, look, I know this wealthy guy and he has, he funds companies. He may want to fund osteoarthritis, osteoporosis. He may want to fund ALS. And if you bring him to us and and that person decides to work with us, we rather give you the finder's fee than some investment banking firm, right? And it could be quite lucrative for people if you want to participate in that. But the typical way, just to let everyone know, it's a good question, whoever asked it. If you have a company and you want to grow your company, either you do it through sales, you have a great product, or you have to go get funding. Now, in order to go get funding, you typically know friends and family, but if you don't, you go hire who are called investment bankers. Investment bankers typically take 3 to 6% of what they raise. So if they raise, $10 million, they will take, anywhere between $300,000 to $600,000, you see? So our point is, if people help us raise money, we rather give it to you guys. And we're keeping it in the community. That's an example of being an affiliate. So there's many ways that you can participate depending on your appetite. Some people are gung-ho. They say, wow, this is a great product. I want to take this to market. Other people just want to help just by being ambassadors. It's all really up to you. We are letting 1,000 flowers bloom depending on how people want to participate. There's no formulaic model here, but to let you know that you can participate and you can use this as a source of income for yourselves.
Elizabeth had a question. She's in Canada and she's wondering whether the products are affected by the tariffs, the tea products, especially the tea ones.
I don't know. I have no idea. Well, we're shipping stuff to the other way, right? I think stuff from Canada is being affected, right?
Yeah.
We're sending stuff out to Canada.
Um, Louis had a question. How can we know whether estrogen levels are too high or low? There are risks to either.
Yeah, I mean, one of the ways that when we look, it's individualized. People obviously have tests that doctors can conduct, right? Certain levels in your body. But then what we've done with your body, your system is we also look at the nature of the person's system. So it is not one size fits all answer. That's really the right answer to that. Prabhakar, do you want to add anything to that?
Right. I think so. This is again a question that is well suited for your doctor, but I mean, a simple answer is like you will be able to measure these with a blood test, and then um, a longer answer for that would be like, how exactly, what is the range, the normal range for estrogen, and what is the deviation from that on the lower side as well as the higher side? And that's a research question that we'll have to answer. Can teas and supplements be taken as preventative measures for these conditions rather than waiting for an actual diagnosis?
So if you look at what we just discussed, the answer to that question is the following. What's interesting with prevention is the medical industry doesn't know how to assess prevention, right? That's why they don't talk about prevention, because there's not a clinical study you do for prevention, right? Because prevention is fundamentally trying to avoid something. So if someone never got something, did it occur because you did this intervention, right? But in our view, based on what we just shared with you with the HPA axis, if you go down to the molecular science, anything you can do to support your resilience, and we talk about this in systems health, anything you can do to support resilience. What is resilience? Resilience is for your body to take on stressors, but not be damaged by it. Like a shock absorber, you're driving your car, your car hits a pothole, you're not going through the roof because you have resilience. So ultimately, prevention at a deep level, and it varies from different functional areas, is building resilience. What's interesting with prevention and resilience is you only know that you didn't do it right because you get more ill sooner. You get weaker sooner, right? You get more irritable sooner, all these kinds of things. But when you have resilience, you're able to take a hit and come back. So yes, the fundamental area here is to support resilience. And there's many different types of preventative things that we can do that, and we've talked about them. Keep the eye on the prize, it's resilience.
Barbara had a follow-up question about whether she should stop taking the hormones if she's using the tea. I don't think that's our place to recommend, since it borders on the medical question.
Yeah,
So
what
you'll
I
have
would
to
do is
ask your
ask your doctor. I would ask your doctor, here are the T's, and we put that very clearly, right? I'd ask your doctor.
Elizabeth had I guess, a tangential question about education. So out of all the education you offer, what would you recommend most? First for for use as a homeschool curriculum with a 13-year-old girl.
Yeah, so what we are doing, who's that? Ask that, Prabhakar?
Elizabeth McKinney.
Yeah, so Elizabeth, what we've done is, number one, you should sign up as a truthfromhealth.com warrior. You can gift the course to your daughter. There's a version that your child could take. But I think you yourself should come, number one, come to the orientation. Number two, it's called Get Off the Plantation, which is a series of videos we've curated, which is all free, that walks people through different kinds of systems that you and your daughter can watch together. Shatter the Swarm is probably the first step. But we have the entire Truth from Health program, and it's funny because we made it totally free and no one takes advantage of it. I bet you if we charge money, people would take advantage of it. For kids, we said, if an adult goes through the course, you can gift it to as many children as you want under the age of 13. Above the age of 13 through 18. It's incredible how many adults don't even take the offer. I mean, this is like very powerful content. I have a woman who runs a tutorial program for kids, and the person who runs it looked at it and he goes, "Oh my God, this is like a PhD program for kids," but we've made it all accessible, you say? But again, this is a problem. People have a really weird relationship with money. When you give stuff away for free, they don't take it. When you charge something, then they blame you for charging. And if I charge a lot, then people will value it. So we really need your guys' feedback. because this is a conundrum with this, but we made it free to kids.
Barbara is asking, are there any videos available to educate me on how to approach people who may invest or sell the products in their stores? I know 4 store owners who allow me to leave your cards on the counter.
Yeah, what I would do. Who's that? Barbara? Who?
Barbara Boy. Yeah.
Yeah, I think training on how to approach store owners. Barbara, I think we have some materials if you want to do that, but I think we should do a follow-up on that because there's a whole training we're developing for that. Okay, it's 12:42.
Yeah.
I want to thank everyone for coming. I think we've laid out, hopefully you've all learned something more detail about um, the fundamental issues of women's health and how you guys can participate. So please go to truthforhealth.com for your own benefit and get involved. And thank you, Dr. Prabhakar. Thank you, Emily, for helping us out. Thank you, Be the Light. Prabhakar, I'm going to
Thank
check
you,
out.
everyone.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, if you want to, thanks.